short there. What's up, y'all? We're in my kitchen today for a little bit different of a video. I was at Micro Center and I saw this Raspberry Pi built into a keyboard, and then I also needed to pick up a kind of mobile monitor, and I was like, this is a video idea. I wonder if I can day trade on this using like TradingView or whatever, right? So this, you can see here, the price on this was $100, okay, for the Raspberry Pi, $100, and this was around, let me see if I can find the price tag on this. This was $139. So all in on this, you're looking at $239 for a trading setup. Obviously, you could trade on your phone or something like that. I just thought that this would be interesting. Also wanted to see if I could set up trading on this. I might not do that in this video. I do have TradingView on this Asus ROG Ally X though. So we're gonna go ahead and open these up. I'll take a little look, you know, what this looks like inside, and see if we can get TradingView on here, which is really all that we need to trade. So let's get into the unboxing. So this is the Raspberry Pi, handy dandy X-Acto knife. It's taped on both sides. This is honestly just also a reason for me to waste a bunch of money. So super cool kind of display there. That's what the keyboard looks like. I mean, this is the keyboard actually, I'm tripping. So let me bring the camera a little bit closer and I'll show you guys what this looks like. Let's see what else is in the box. So in the box, we've got the keyboard itself. There's the Pi mouse. There is a Raspberry Pi power supply. This is a micro SSD, I guess, with the OS on it. I don't know if it comes with the OS though. We've got an HDMI cable and the official Raspberry Pi beginner's guide. That's pretty cool. So yeah, it explains what all of the I/O is, or inputs and outputs on this miniature computer. So go ahead and put that in there. So check this out. So this is the keyboard. The keyboard looks like, right? And this is our Raspberry Pi mouse, and this is that beginner's guide. So nothing crazy, and then we're also gonna open this up here in a second. If you're like, Forrest, why are you in your kitchen today? We have an event studio. I could have went to the studio actually right now. There's no one there right now. But just want to mix it up. Sometimes when you've made tons of videos, you just got to do something a little bit different, guys. Maybe the video performs well, maybe it doesn't. The perks of being a trader, getting your income from trading, is sometimes your YouTube income is up, sometimes it's down. Sometimes your trading income is up, sometimes it's down, but I make good money from YouTube nonetheless. So this is the screen. What's cool about this, so I've actually taken this out, I used it, I tested it before. This will actually just work off of a USB-C, which is pretty cool. It has HDMI, like a micro HDMI port, and 2 USB-C ports. So it can actually just be driven by that. So the goal here is to see if we can just plug this in, okay? So this will be the setup. Raspberry Pi is built into this keyboard. That would be plugged in here, and then we'd have our mouse and keyboard. So let's go ahead and give this a try. I'm pretty sure what we can do is we'll take this, which is our micro HDMI. I would like to use as few cables as possible, obviously. I don't know if this will work over power. Oh wow, this supports 2 monitors. That's crazy. And there's a micro SD card in here with the OS already, I imagine. So we'll plug this into the monitor. Oh, that's not gonna work actually. So this is a micro HDMI to a regular HDMI. This has a special micro HDMI cord though, which we have to use. So the problem we'll have to solve is, will this work with a USB-C to, we'll need to do USB to USB-C, so USB-A to C over a USB 3.0 port, and see if that'll work. Otherwise, my plan will be foiled. So let's see if we can do that. Let's take some of these other things out the box though first and open this up. These are super cool. I really believe in compute accessibility. For those of you who don't know, I am a software engineer by trade. I'm always building stuff all the time. I've contemplated and have not done, simply due to time constraints, creating like a programming channel and things like that. I'm always nerding out. Like when I'm not trading, I'm like doing other nerdy stuff. I mean, that's not true. I'm running my business, doing all types of stuff. But yeah, I am a nerd. This is the stuff that I really like to do. Like this is fun for me. Just building stuff, making stuff is my nerdy core. So we've got that put together. This is the power supply. So what we can do here, got a convenient plug over here. Just unplug that. Okay, we'll scoot down just a little bit. That is the power supply. Boom. So this should be on. I think it's just on if it's plugged in. Yeah, it is on. So I can't see anything on the screen. Okay, there's nothing on the screen. So what we're gonna have to do is figure out this cord situation. So let's go take a look. And we'll give you another little look here at the setup. So the setup is minimally, okay? We've got the Raspberry Pi here. This would be the monitor. Again, this screen really just looks like this. There's not much to it, just a screen. I can actually show you really quickly kind of how the screen works. and I'll show you using my Asus ROG here. So give me 1 second. I'll show you what that looks like. So this is what the screen looks like, okay, right there. We're gonna plug in on the side here into one of these USB-Cs. This is my Asus, plug it in. So I've got to do this with one hand. So that's booting up right now. This is kind of what it looks like. So this is my Asus ROG Ally. The screen is black because it's sending the image there. And you can see here that it's just plug and play. One cable. There's only one cable in this, right? So super duper cool. Totally works. And you can actually see, I think I have Trading View on here somewhere. I don't see it. But the screen works. Okay, so our goal is we want to do this, but we want to do that on the Raspberry Pi keyboard. So we'll put our little Asus over there. I have also, the latency on this is pretty good. So I tested, I haven't actually gamed with this. I will bring this when I travel, and I might upgrade. I really just got this as a throw screen when I'm streaming in the mornings. So what we need to do is, if we look at the IO on the back of this thing, okay, there's an Ethernet port, 2 USB-Cs, and a micro HDMI. So we need to find a cable that will work, and this has its own specialized HDMI, unfortunately. So when I planned to make this video, I actually did not understand or think that the IO would be a problem. So we're gonna solve it in real time. I'm gonna throw camera back on the tripod, or actually no, I just got a cable. So this is a USB-A to C, so we're gonna throw this on there, see if it works. We'll put that right there. I've done zero research on this, by the way, to know if it'll work. I don't know if the Raspberry Pi can output video over USB. So let's see what it does. There's some stuff flashing on the screen on the top right corner. Can't really see it. We'll see if it can work it out. So the screen has power. It's a very low power screen coming from the Pi, but there's still no image, which is unfortunate. So what we can do to kind of show the power of how this would work is, let's plug it into a different monitor and see what it looks like. I think we have another cheap monitor laying around that we can use.
A few minutes later.
Okay, so I found this laptop screen. This is a screen we got out of the little trash, by the way. So this is the Pi boot sequence. So it is working. The next thing is figuring out how to get this to actually boot into the UI. I haven't used a Raspberry Pi. I didn't do any preparation for this video. So let's figure that out right now. All right, we're cooking. We booted into the operating system. Now, here's how you would do this with the screen. It's actually not that complicated. I don't have them here, I have them at the studio. Beautiful sunset, by the way. There's a little HDMI coupler, so even though there's a specialized cable for this, you could almost certainly, probably for like $2, guys, get a cable for micro HDMI to this specialized micro HDMI. I don't have it on my hand, I apologize. The point of the video still stands. Okay, computer, $80. Get a screen that's like $80 as well. You don't have to use a portable screen. I got this monitor, again, out of the trash. This was in the hallway. Just a classic monitor. I have no idea what the specs are on this thing. This is literally the first time that I've used it. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this setup for you guys, and let's see if we can get Trading View on here. I have no idea. We'll go from there. So we wanna do English, Eastern time zone. I would have loved this when I was a kid. I think this is super cool. Let's enter a username, just admin. Okay, now it's asking me for Wi-Fi networks. So that's cool. There's Wi-Fi built into this. Super cool device. The power of compute has really gotten crazy recently. So enter that, hit next. What I really like about this as a computer is I could bring this, I could have stuff on here and just carry this keyboard around. It's actually, you know, my brain is turning now with the use cases of having a computer built into a keyboard, but I digress. Okay, so now it's gonna do some software updates. We'll let that do its thing. The other reason to have a small computer, such as a Raspberry Pi, is just if you're someone who's looking for a Swiss Army knife device, especially with like the AI coding things, build your own kind of trading tools on here. I am a massive proponent of thinking about the type of data that you might want as a trader. Okay, I have a ton of one-off scripts and things that I don't sell or anything like that. The long tail or the effort to actually turn them into commercial products will be way too long, but I still use them. It's still good. They're great tools, right? And this could just be aggregates of whatever information you need as a trader. Okay, go to polygon.io. It's a great API. There are other APIs out there. Okay, so this thing's gonna restart, but build things that you need, be useful, and this would be a great computer to do that on, right? Just a single, simple device. It doesn't have a ton of resources, so it's gonna force you to write clean code and make your tools as small as possible. That's really the point I wanted to make with this spiel. Okay, it's gonna force you to make tools that are as slimline as possible, single file applications, right? You don't need to do a whole web app. And I think that's really important, especially as everybody, writes these big bloated verbose things with AI, out the wazoo. That's gonna be the case for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at what this looks like. So this is our home screen here. Let's see if the internet works. This looks like the World Wide Web icon. I don't expect this to be fast by any means. Our goal, by the way, is just to get TradingView on this thing. If we can get TradingView on this thing, we'll be cooking. It's trying to load it. It's using Chromium. That's good. There's a computer for that. Okay, so let's go to tradingview.com. Oh, it's working. It's working. So all I'll need to do is sign in and we should be able to trade on this thing. Another option that we could do, which would be even simpler, is I could write a very, very slim, just using like polygon.io application that has a WebSocket, gets live data, live bid-ask data, and just make a minimum viable chart with a buy-sell button and then connect it to some API on the back end. I could do that specifically for trading on Raspberry Pis, and I'll call it Pi Trader. I'm not gonna do any of that though. An idea though, free idea for you, somebody out there. Make something that is super slim just for the Raspberry Pi. I'm trying to sign in. This thing is very, very, very slow. Let's see. I mean, it's loaded the web page just fine actually, so maybe it's just TradingView being weird. Nope, don't care about pricing. I just want to sign in. Sick, I could sign in with my email. All right guys, it works. So it's super duper slow. Okay, let's take a look what we have here. So Raspberry Pi built into the keyboard. We have our screen there, TradingView's loaded. It is pretty slow. I went ahead and just logged into a paper account, took a short there. The market did just open up. So totally works. There is your, so is it the fastest? No, but it definitely works. If I spent time and needed to, I'm sure I could optimize this, make it faster or something, right? Either swapping browsers or, like I said, even creating my own custom thing to trade on here. But just wanted to try it out, think it's pretty cool. What I might do with this is just use this as a throw up screen, right? Just for charts, because it's essentially like a single purpose computer, which would be useful. I'll just use it as a market monitor. So that's it. If you thought this was interesting, cool, or whatever, let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, and shout out to all of you who are part of the 30-day challenge. Peace.